Hello, people. Welcome to the Average NBA Fans Mock Draft 2023. We know that the first pick has been set in stones. The Spurs are picking Victor Wembanyama. Who do you think is the Hornets going to pick?
Damn, no time for Victor. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but let's just move on to the second pick, right? So the Hornets have two world-class potential, apparently world-class in point guard with Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller. I think Brandon Miller is going to be the selection at number two because it's very simple, right? This is a league run by wings right now. Here, Brandon Miller is one of the best wings in the draft class, a brilliant three-point shooter, something the Hornets really need. They do not have Gordon Hayward is on his last leg and on his last year of a contract. Kelly Oubre has left. Kelly Oubre's contract is over. I think a dynamic wing with Lamelo Ball, especially going to have a lot of the ball in his hands. I think it makes more sense than having a Scoot Henderson who is going to obviously take the ball away from Lamelo. And as much as we've seen Lamelo, shine without the ball, I think majorly that's what's gonna take the Hornets' success to the next level. Moving on.
But like to me, the other side of the story also makes sense, wherein they could pick Scoot just because they're looking to trade that pick as well. And if they're looking to trade that pick to the Pelicans, it would make more sense if they choose Scoot Henderson. But for now, I think I would agree with Angad. If there is no trade, Miller is the obvious choice, I think.
I think so. Yeah, well, I agree with you too. I think so. The Brandon Miller is going to Charlotte Hornets, and I mean we've seen a lot of people predicting the same as well. We've seen NBNT talking about it. We've seen Bill Simmons talk about it too. But I think so. Yeah, it's also set in stone. Let's quickly move on to the next person, next team, which is Portland Trailblazers. Who do you think are Portland going to pick along with their guy that they already have? I'm talking about Damian Lillard. Who do you think can be a good companion to Damian Lillard if he stays in Portland this year?
I think whether he stays or not, I think at number three, you not draft with the kind of potential that Scoot Henderson has. I don't think you draft for the kind of pick or the kind of player that you need in your team. You don't pick with you don't pick the draft with the kind of player you want, but the kind of potential you have. So even if Scoot Henderson, with Scoot Henderson, you have a stockpile of point guards, short point guards in your team. I think you go ahead because the potential is unbelievable. 6'2", one of the fastest players, not the best shooting, but at the same point in time, he is an elite slasher. He has elite playmaking abilities. He was taking a team. I mean, uh, not the best league in G League Ignite, but at the same point in time, sorry, in the G League, but at the same point in time, I think he is one of the better athletic point guards that we've seen. Comparisons to Derrick Rose, comparisons to John Wall. I'm pretty sure like Scoot Henderson, even with Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, if all of them stay, I think still Portland Trail Blazers goes with Scoot Henderson for this pick.
I think I agree with Angad on this one. Like, you draft for the talent, not for the fit, maybe on this one, because I think to me, I'm gonna go with a spicy take. I feel like he's gonna be the best talent of this draft. Even with Victor in the draft, I think he's gonna outshine him in the future, maybe. Just because I'm not that hype on big centers who are not that uh you know they haven't proven themselves as such, because I feel like Victor played in a very small league and he was a big fish in a small pond, and with that height there tends to be injuries. So I'm not completely sold until he proves himself in the NBA. But for now I feel like Scoot will be the better talent, and I think you're absolutely right. With the third pick you go for the talent rather than the pick, I mean, rather than the fit, right? And even if they're looking to trade that pick again, which they have been rumored to, again, with a team like the Pelicans, they might be looking at Zion or Brandon Ingram. So, with a higher talent pick, you're having higher leverage to trade that as well. So, makes sense, right?
I mean, it completely makes sense. But let's quickly jump to the next team. Who do you think the Rockets are going to choose? I mean, this is the top three are something that we've been listening at and have been predicted that these three will be the top three. I think so. The four onwards make is the spicy one. Who do you think it's coming in for?
I think it's not spicy at all. I think throughout the year, Brandon Miller really raised his stock, but I think Thompson twins were the people that were, apart from Scoot and Victor, I think they were highly touted as those two picks that were definitely going top 10, top 5 at times. And I think Amen Thompson is the perfect point guard for Houston Rockets. I think the Rockets have had this problem, even being linked with James Harden. I think the biggest problem for them has been that they don't have a elite playmaking point guard right now. With KPJ more of a scorer, Jalen Green more of a scorer, not really relying on his playmaking. I think Amen Thompson really has that. He obviously has some deficiencies in his shooting wise, and I think he did not have the best competition. He needs his free throws. All type of his shooting numbers needs to go up, but at the same point, that the athleticism is unparalleled. The kind of playmaking, I mean, not a Scoot level playmaker, but at the same point, time he's going to have shooters around him. So I think that's going to be a perfect fit for him, and I think I really see him shining in that Rockets offense, especially with Imo Udoka.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of that. Since like he has some holes in his games, which is mostly like shooting, which would pair up well with the players that the Rockets already have, right? They have Jalen Green, they have um, KPJ, who are both decent and good shooters, right? So maybe you can play them off ball, and you really don't know if James Harden is coming. And do you really want an aging James Harden, or do you want potential when you're rebuilding a team, when you're retooling? You're probably looking at potential at a young talent rather than an aging James Harden who's not quite the same that he used to be, right? So this pick would definitely make sense. They do need a point guard, a proper playmaker, which he definitely is, and he has a very huge size advantage for his position if he plays like the point guard for them. So which has been the trend lately in the NBA. The taller teams are winning, like the Denver Nuggets, the Lakers were tall. So I mean, that's an advantage you would like to capitalize on for sure.
I mean, do you think that is he better than his twin brother? That is a question that we'll ask. We've seen that everyone is picking him over his twin brother, but I think so. It can go anyway. With his brother could come in before him, or could be the second one. We'll have to see. But do you think that the Detroit Pistons will be choosing his twin brother, or do you think someone else will come back and probably take the position?
I mean, for me, Ozar has more of defensive skills than the offensive, which I think the Pistons already have a lot of playmaking, and like they already have guards, so they might just play him at the 3 or at the 4 maybe. I'm not sure, but he does have athleticism, and he can potentially be a good off-ball defender as well. So they might like to use him that way. I'm not sure where the Rockets are going right now, but they definitely need a proper playmaker. Which I think of the two brothers, I would have to give it to Amen. He's a better playmaker, right?
For sure. And I think the draft stock of Azor has definitely shown in the draft combine. I mean, his catch and shoot numbers and just overall pull up three numbers have really gone up. I think a lot of teams are seeing him as the fifth or the sixth best prospect in the draft right now, which really raised his stock from. I think he was probably seen as like a top 10 pick in the middle of the season because his season was not as good as his twin brother, but obviously that stock has risen. For fifth pick, for me, for the Pistons, I see them having two guards who are definitely going to have the ball in their hands a lot. I see them with the aging wing and Bogdanovich. I see that they've already traded Sadiq Bey. I really like a player like a Jarius Walker for them. I know that he's not the most, doesn't have the most height advantage, but at the same point, and he's a skilled playmaker. He is a great defender. I feel like he's a very versatile player overall, and I really think that he'll go ahead with that guard combo of the Pistons. I think that really makes sense as Jarius Walk as a player for the Pistons right now because I do not see them picking another guard or any type of player other than that. I think they still want to give Jalen Duran, who was the lottery pick player last season. I think they want to give him minutes. I think they want to give Marvin Bagley minutes. I think they want to give Wiseman some minutes. So I think overall they really are a little down on the wing spot, and I just think them having the fifth pick, obviously dropping off. They had the best odds. They dropped off to number 5 from 1. It couldn't have gone any lower. So I think Jerry Sockin makes the best sense for them, and I think this is the season. Obviously giving Monty Williams that huge contract. they need to somehow go back to winning ways, because I don't think another season tanking is the right answer for them.
But I don't know. I have a feeling that probably Ozar could come before Amen. I mean, I'm just having this niggle in my heart, and this is what my gut is doing. So that is what I will go forward with. But yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching, everybody. We'll be back soon with another video. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Peace.